Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the new Prologue EV, there's a lot that could impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
At TCLUSA.com.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Yes, sir.
Nice, sprightly ball game today. Twins lose 2-1. They haven't been getting a lot of clutch hits down here in spring training. Today, they were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position and lose 2-1. Chris Sale pitched, I think it was 5 at least, for Boston, and he gave up 2 hits. They were both triples. Beyond that, he was unhittable, so they were moving right along. So
home game, what was the crowd like?
Boston was here, so it was a jam-packed full house. It was so bad that I went out to try to find some lunch about 2:30, and all the lines were too long. So
really,
they had all the concession lines too long today. It was the Red Sox. Boy, they got the good deal going too. The Twins, leave here March 25th. Go to Washington to play take the next day off, play in Washington, take the next day off, and then start the season in Baltimore. And that game in Washington will draw 10,000 people or 8,000 people. The Red Sox are staying here. The Cubs open in Miami. So the Cubs are going to play at the Red Sox ballpark the 26th and the 27th. Cubs, Red Sox, that'll be a tough ticket, even in spring training, because both teams will have cut their rosters down, so they'll be playing the real guys. And the Red Sox open in Tampa and the Cubs open in Miami, so that worked out for them nice.
Well, not to mention the Twins playing at Washington at that time of year. They could have another nor'easter.
Could have a nor'easter. We've had 3, right? 3 in a row here. Yeah, you could have a north. Yeah, March 27th. It's, you can take your choice between 60 degrees or 28 and an ice storm. So
while they're up there, you mean to tell me Boston and the Cubs will be still in Fort Myers?
Still playing exhibition games, yeah. And the Red Sox, that means all those Red Sox New Englanders that come down here won't be leaving until the end of the month. But
what is the point of going to Washington to play the Senators?
I have
or
no
the Nationals?
Idea. I suppose the Nationals give them a few bucks, but I have no idea. The stupid, here's the stupid thing, though. They leave here on the 25th. That's a Sunday, right?
I don't know.
Is it a Sunday? 25th, a Sunday?
It is.
Okay. They leave here. They're off Monday.
Yeah.
They play an exhibition game Tuesday.
Yep.
They're off Wednesday.
Right.
They play the season opener in Baltimore Thursday.
Yep.
They're off Friday
Right.
because you got the in case you get rained out.
Right.
They play Saturday, Sunday. They're all, and then they go to Pittsburgh for Pittsburgh's season opener Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So they play Monday, and then they're off
Tuesday.
And then they play Wednesday, and then they come home to Minnesota and they play Thursday, and then they're off Friday. So I would have to, let's see, in 12 days, is that 5 days off? I think they have 5 days off in 12 days.
Does
good luck getting your pitching lined up in that situation.
Does every northern team, when they home open, get the next day off?
That's the way they make that choice. And
are the Twins going to have?
Oh hell yes,
they're doing it Friday. Then they'll be off. Okay.
Yes, because they don't want to do it. They don't want to have to figure out if they, let's say you got 12,000, 13,000 season ticket holders, and you got a game scheduled Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but you sold out the Thursday game, and then you get snowed out. that then they got the duplicate on the tickets there, but it's still stupid. Play ball. Mm-hmm. You got a chance to get snowed out the whole weekend. They're going to get caught with their britches down here, not only at the start of the season, one of these years when you're starting the season this early, but when the World Series is in a real northern city and they get a big snowstorm.
You can't have the World Series on November 1st.
Well,
unless you're in Miami.
Didn't it end on November 4th a couple of years ago? I think so. The Cleveland the Cubbies won. That was 2-3 days into November.
Joe, you remember what happened last year, though? Was it Game 2 in L.A., and it was 100 degrees, so Pat had said we're having it too early.
Too early, yeah.
I remember when the Twins were playing the Cardinals. No, it wasn't. One of the World Series in St. Louis. Since then, they've had a few. Since 1987, we were there, and it was just hotter than hell, like in October 27th. I said, we got to get the World Series pushed back here.
Right, too early.
It's too damn hot here in St. Louis. So, anyway, the Twins lose 2-1, and we got that going for us. Meanwhile, what happened to our hockey team last night?
Well, I heard and read that they performed well, and I watched most of the game, and I'm here to tell you, no, they didn't. Colorado was clearly better than them.
They dominated the shots in the first period, right? And then after that. But I guess Colorado kind of bullied our fellas, eh?
And Dubes wasn't on top of his game.
No, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Dubes had one of those games where the biscuit kept getting out of his reach, so... So that's Colorado's only 3 points behind him now.
Yes.
Colorado was supposed to be one of those horrible teams that was not going to get any points, and a bunch of their young guys started playing well, and they're pretty good.
And Spurgeon had what looked like a very painful groin or hamstring injury. He was helped off the ice.
One of those. That's 2-3 weeks at best. If it's the groinal area, that's always 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
Meanwhile,
I like that little bugger. I think.
Well, he's good. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves had an impressive victory over the Washington Bullets.
They were down 10 points.
No, they're the Wizards, aren't they?
Yeah, not the Bullets anymore.
They're not the Bullets. Yeah. They changed that before it was really politically incorrect.
Right.
But they were down 10 points with under 10 minutes to go, and Belly and Towns went crazy. They pulled the game out.
I believe they had a 17-1 streak.
20-3, I know.
Or 20-3.
One of the 20-3, yes. So that was a much-needed victory. I saw some stat that, what was it, Reavers? The last 9 or 10 years, the Wizards and the Timberwolves, who only played twice, have split. So whoever wins the first game loses the second game.
Really?
So that's what the Wolves had going for them yesterday.
Since they already lost at home.
Yeah, they already lost one at home, so that they had that going for them. So I got them. I went through the schedule. They're going to go 8-5 and get to 48 wins, and they'll make the playoffs.
I did not realize the NBA had the same sort of replay assistance for the ref as does the National Hockey League, where they got to go back to central headquarters and have it reviewed.
What, on the ball out of bounds or the 24?
No, the last who touched it last was a big controversy.
Yeah, who touched it last? Yeah, that one they review on. But I thought they did it at the arena. They don't. They go to the league.
I believe they have a league headquarters somewhere.
Did you ever see the end of one of these games when you get it like one of our very loyal advertisers, Kenny Maurer or somebody running the game there in the last minute?
No.
And a ball will go out of bounds, and they know who's got the ball, but they got to check the clock as to whether it's
let's check it.
Whether it's 14.7 tenths or 14.6 tenths. We got to go look at the clock here and check those things. And I'd say, generally speaking, worst thing that ever happened to sports.
The replays? Yeah.
Worst thing that ever happened to sports.
Yeah. Especially the way baseball is embracing it.
Yeah. And time consuming and just college football is probably the worst. Because at least in the NFL, there's a limit, right?
Yep.
There's a limit. You can only ask. In college football, you get this weenie head who sits up there and he's in charge of replays, and he doesn't want to be ignored. So for no reason, he'll start wanting to replay crap, and they'll have 14 of them a game. That's the dumbest thing of all time.
Do any of the Twins players hang around after a game and keep working out?
Well, there's no. I mean, they get here. They start working out at for a home game like at 10:30. They put in an hour and a half or 2 hours before the game starts in spring training.
So when the game's done, that's their free time.
They're out of here for the most part. But like the next week, they got one of these split squads where there's a day game here and a night game and someplace else, and they'll be here the coaches will be here all day.
Joe, isn't your real question, are any of them dedicated enough to continue to hone the craft after the game is
Are
done?
any of them like Ichiro Suzuki?
Right.
That's what I wanted to know.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, you go down there, and a guy like Logan Morrison will be going in the weight room and pump for a half hour after the game's over.
Yeah.
Those guys will do that, but they're not going to be out here running laps and stuff like that. So.
All right. Hang on just a second. Where is Sano with his case that he's got to deal with?
We're all waiting to see what the verdict is. Baseball has promised the Twins they'll know before the season starts. I don't know what the hell they're waiting for.
I just saw a horrible video of a Houston player, Danny Vasquez. Mm-hmm. I guess he's in their minor league system, beating up a woman in a stairwell. And apparently he got off by paying a fine.
You watched it?
I didn't want to. It was so obvious to me.
I heeded the warnings and decided not to watch it because they said it was so unbelievably
terrible.
How did he get off with a fine?
I didn't read the story.
When was this?
I didn't read the story.
It was when he was in the minor system. Was it the Astros?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe, but not this year.
No, 2016, I believe.
Oh, okay. And he got off at the time before we started becoming aware of these things.
Somehow, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what the heck they're waiting for. Give us a verdict here. But here's the deal: they're afraid to do nothing. They expect, I think, most of him to get a very short suspension. So,
all right,
we'll see. But he also could maybe end up writing a check for a charity or something. I don't know what's going to happen.
Quite the football day yesterday in the quarterback world, huh?
Yeah, it sure is, and not official, of course, till today. By the way, I was going to ask, has the Ziggy's private plane landed at the St. Paul Airport yet? Do we have any reports on Cousins being on the ground?
No, nothing yet.
Anything?
Nothing yet.
Do we know anything? Because the Zigmeister's going to have to be flying him in here, isn't he?
Well, wait a minute, though. With the new Viking practice facility, do we have our own runway at that new place?
Yeah, maybe we put a runway
runway. We could have our own runway.
I understand that you were very short with Judd and Phil because you desperately wanted to come on the air and give them the Lance update. And they said, no, we're talking about Cousins. And you gave them a window. You gave them a window.
Like I said, anytime. Yeah, pretty much any time.
They said,
and I wasn't short about it. I offered my services. I'm down here. Wetmore's back. I'm trying to be a nice guy. And
I knew this would get them.
They couldn't have blown me off more unceremoniously.
So,
for God's sake.
Let me ask you, did they call you today, Patrick?
Well, it doesn't make any difference.
Blocked.
I'm not answering.
Because
he's done with him.
Because Harrigan sat me down, put me in the witness chair, and grilled me. He wanted to know just how mad you were. Mm-hmm. And I said you were absolutely outraged, and you probably wouldn't talk to him again.
I am not outraged. There's a difference between outrage and indignity. Yeah. I'm indignant.
They claim that you only provided yourself for 1 hour. Until noon, and then you said,
no,
if it isn't by noon, I'm not available.
Bleep those guys.
I called Harrigan and said, hey, Dave, I know that Derek went home home, and we're all in this together, and we're teammates. And I was just down at Lance Lynn's press conference, and it's really, it was an interesting press conference. And I can give the fellas an 8-9 minute review, and he said, I don't think so. We're talking football. So
beat it, pal.
That was pretty much it. Yeah, hit the bricks was basically what he said.
I have thoughts.
Mm-hmm. No, I just wanted to, I thought maybe they'd, hey, what kind of guy is he? Did he see him in that 20 minutes? Sure.
A little taste.
Something like that. So, okay, now I know. I don't know. I'm fine. That's something I never have to worry about.
Yeah. That's like when you're playing. It's like when you're playing golf. It's like when you're playing golf and a guy won't give you a tap in 1-footer and you say to him, okay, just so I know the rules. Okay, just so I know the rules.
Yes, right. If we have let's say if we have a natural disaster down here.
Right.
Oh God.
A sinkhole.
No, you're not going to inform them.
Like 15, 20 cars get sucked up out here in the parking lot.
How are you going to
disappear and people are screaming. Call somebody else. I'm not going to.
Everybody knows the rules now. Everybody knows the rules.
I'm not giving you an eyewitness report.
You had your chance. You had your chance.
You did. I mean, I could have been more pleasant in my offering of my services.
Oh, I knew that'd get you.
In other news, Royce, I'm wondering your reaction to the photo that was tweeted yesterday. The only person missing from this photo, I thought, was you. It was Bud Grant. It was Sid,
Louie and Sid,
and Louie Nanny out for whose birthday?
Louie, Sid.
Louie just had a birthday.
Yeah, but tomorrow, Sid, 98.
Wow. And looking at it, I thought the only old duffer missing there is Royce.
Yeah, I would have lowered the average age in that group, but
there was a great caption. I forget who it was. I think it might have been Joe Anderson, and he said, which one picked up the check?
Yeah.
Everybody had the alligator arms.
I have
Here's
to say,
the deal. The Vikings, Bob Hagan had the Vikings pick up the check. There was a bunch of Viking people there.
At Louie's place? Was it at Louie's?
Yeah, Louie's place. Yeah, but Louie's going to let the Vikings pick up the check, I'm sure. Right. But my only problem with it, I think it's a great gesture, but is this going to compromise Sid's objectivity when he covers the Vikings?
Oh, good call.
I think it could.
Yeah,
it might
have an effect anyway.
He might not take that middle of the road look at the team that he's famous for.
That could be, but when I look at that picture and I see Sid, I see number one, somebody very happy, and number two, somebody who has no idea where he's at.
And has no intention of paying.
He's happy, and that's it.
Where is Louie's place? Is that in the Galleria?
No,
it's right on France.
It's down a ways from the Galleria.
It's right. It's
Centennial Lakes,
and you go in the back of Louie's, and Centennial Lake is right there.
Oh, okay, that's my doctor. Yeah,
Louie's your doctor.
There's a good.
Kenny, get in here. I got another to talk to you about the X-ray. Something's wrong with your ankle.
I'm seeing something that I don't like a bit.
Louie's at lower body. Tell me it's not lower body.
It's lower body all the way.
Lower body checks are extra. And we're having some trouble with your paperwork.
Did you guys talk about Louie doing color for the high school games? Isn't that wonderful?
He's great.
Well, like Judd says, it ain't the hockey tournament unless Louie's doing it.
Did he have a grandkid this year? I think he's done, right? I don't think he had any more. He usually has a grandkid.
Wasn't Tyler the last one?
Could have been.
Yeah.
But he actually knows what he's talking about.
Hell yes.
I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm going, nah, Louie, you're making that up.
No, he knows what he's talking about.
But he knows absolutely everything about all these kids.
God, he's been doing it his whole life. He started doing that when he was at the U of M.
Louie and I are having some issues, though. Our long and great friendship, but we're having some issues.
No wonder you weren't invited to Sid's birthday
party. We have a
party.
different view on Philip John Fleck as a human being.
All right.
That is highly controversial.
Just to hold that thought so I can tell you that we'll be back shortly, but now thanks to our good friends in Owatonna, Minnesota at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business, and nobody does that better than Federated. It's Bruce Vail from the Wall Street Journal and Your Money Now.
Wasn't Louis where Michael Corleone shot Sollozzo?
That's not happened here yet.
Oh, okay. That was a different Louis then. Okay.
Yeah.
Stocks were lower at the market close for a second straight day. This time, renewed trade concerns weighed on the market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 248 points, closing at 24,758. The Nasdaq Composite lost 14 points. The S&P 500 fell 15. Ford is recalling 1.4 million cars because their steering wheels are at risk of detaching. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in October began investigating complaints of loose steering wheels in Ford Fusion sedans, and now Ford is recalling Fusions and Lincoln MKZs from the 2014 to 2018 model years, saying the steering wheel bolts can loosen over time. Google is following Facebook's lead by banning ads for cryptocurrencies across its advertising platforms. The rise in popularity and price of Bitcoin and other virtual currencies has led to scammers using online ads to promote fraudulent cryptocurrency schemes. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
Okay, Bruce, thank you very much. We'll chat again tomorrow. We're going to go over to the east side here and check your traffic. This one's sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. And we've got a big closure in place right now. Southbound Highway 61 closed at Warner Road. That's just south of I-94. It's due to a very serious injury crash down at Lower Afton Road. They're still working to clear that and investigate that. So once again, southbound 61, it's closed at Warner Road due to a wreck down at Lower Afton Road. You have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance shouldn't be one of them. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Here's John Height.
Thanks, Joe. It's sunny and 45 degrees. The Twins were in action this afternoon.
That's interesting. Hey, Joe. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting.
Moo!
What is wrong with you? What, is he rubbing off on you?
That is the right way to do a knock, knock joke. Rookie here tried to do a knock, knock joke to Royce during that commercial break. Royce will not play along. Go ahead. Try to reenact what just happened off the air.
Okay, it went something like this, and I can't impersonate him, but I'll play the role of Patrick as well in this small skit.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey Pat, I got something for you. Knock, 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 knock. Okay. Who's there?" I said, "Mop." All right, I'll play along. Mop what? Said, no, that's
Royce
not how it
is
goes.
not playing along.
Oh, I wish I would have thought not to, because he got me with the mop one.
Mop what? Mop the floor? I don't know.
Joe, he got you so good, you said it twice.
Yeah, mop. What do you mean, mop?
But that's one for the grandkids. You go ahead.
No,
and,
you know what? It's no. That's not even good enough for that.
Potty talk is naughty talk, and kids love poop talk.
Interrupting cow, though, is pretty good.
How does that go again?
Moo!
The Twins lose to the Red Sox 2-1 today. Twins will play Tampa Bay tomorrow. Former Gopher coach Tubby Smith has been fired as Memphis men's basketball coach.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, was with them 2 seasons. Smith told reporters he's no longer coach as he left a meeting this morning with Memphis President M. David Rudd and Athletic Director Tom Bowen. Memphis issued a statement saying only that an agreement of separation had been reached in the best financial interest of the university.
Tubby's got to be up there for buyouts, doesn't he?
Oh, man, he's in good shape. Are we still paying him?
We have. We've got to be close.
And he's, I think this is, 9? Something like that? 9? It's a big number.
Attaboy,
He gets
Tubby.
plenty. That's right. I'd love a buyout sometime. Just get a buyout. You know?
And board work. You guys never got that board work, the board of directors work you guys wanted way back during Sports Talk?
Yeah, right. Remember OJ? We found out what he did for a living. He was on everybody's board, and they got $100,000 for it every year. So
We're still available, is what you're saying.
OJ's available now too.
Yeah.
Ian Rappaport reporting the Jets are signing Teddy Bridgewater, and he's saying sources say the deal is 1 year worth up to $15 million.
What?
With incentives.
Wow.
Well, they'd have to play to get it, I would imagine.
Oh, I suppose.
News notes from today. The head of Minnesota's Health Insurance Exchange announced today she's leaving to take a job with the National Healthcare Advocacy Group. Allison O'Toole served nearly 3 years as the chief executive of MNsure. She's credited with helping to stabilize the platform after its problem-plagued rollout in 2013. She'll depart April 13th to join United States of Care, a new advocacy group with headquarters in Minnesota and Washington, founded by Andy Slavitt, who oversaw healthcare.gov under the Obama administration. Police say the man fatally shot on a sidewalk in Rochester was a husband and father of 3 who fled his homeland in Iraq several years ago. 4 Rochester men ages 23 to 25 have been arrested in the shooting. It happened about 9 o'clock Monday night. Police say 2 of the suspects went through the victim's pockets after he was shot in the chest. Police Captain John Sherwin said there doesn't appear to be any connection between the victim and the suspects. Sherwin says the suspects allege that a vehicle hit one of their vehicles belonging to one of the men. Sherman says there was no damage, though, to either vehicle, but that's what led to the shooting.
In Rochester, Minnesota.
That's correct, yes.
Wow.
Some breaking news in the past hour or so. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley said the United States does believe Russia is responsible for that chemical attack in Britain on a former Russian double agent and his daughter. She also said the UN Security Council should take action. She told the Security Council meeting the U.S. believes Russia is responsible for an attack on 2 people in the U.K. using a military-grade nerve agent.
They got some chutzpah, with those Ruskies.
Yes, I want my president to not like them.
Yes.
He loves them.
Is that asking too much?
No.
And then they accuse the president of collusion or whatever they're accusing him of, and he just kind of looks at the camera and winks. that doesn't make me comfortable either. You know what I mean?
We still got to have some CIA guys over there, don't we, that could take care of Putin?
I doubt it.
I think he's dug in.
Just he disappears. Well, he's out. Heck, he's out and about.
He wrote the book on Badass, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he did.
He's running for re-election,
I like his Johnny. I like his chances.
I like his chances.
I think he's going to win.
Who's the guy that decides he's going to run against him?
Yeah.
You're going to end up dead.
Like the Washington Generals.
Right.
This is
The worst is the poor guy from Georgia. The country, a few years ago. He was this handsome, dashing young guy, and they started poisoning him. He looked like he was 130 by the time they killed him off.
Here's a recall you may want to pay attention to. I think Bruce brought this up, too. Ford is recalling nearly 1.4 million mid-sized cars in North America because the steering wheel can detach from the steering column.
We had this story.
Well,
John.
that was Garage Logic, Joe. How long have you been in radio?
Time spent listening.
Come on.
It put me in.
I was in bed sleeping.
It put me in mind of the Laurel and Hardy movie or W.C. Fields where he hands the wheel to.
Yeah, right.
You take it.
You take it.
That was his greatest line ever. They're driving down, they're shooting at the car, everything's going to hell. He says, the resale value of this car will be nil.
The recall covers certain Ford Fusion and Lincoln MKZ cars from the 2014 through 2018 model years. Ford says steering wheel bolts can loosen over time.
If you can find that one, Rook. I led you astray telling you it was Laurel and Hardy. It was W.C. Fields. He hands the wheel.
W.C. Fields. Yeah.
Retail of this car will be nil.
I'd like to meet the guys on this assembly line. The steering wheel's fine.
We tighten those nuts.
Was it after a night when the Packers lost?
Right.
The company says it knows of 2 crashes and 1 injury caused by this problem. Dealers will replace the bolts with longer ones that have more aggressive threads and a nylon patch to stop them from coming loose. Just over 1.3 million cars in the U.S. are being recalled. Million. The rest are in Canada and Mexico.
Velcro. Well, they use Velcro? What'd they do?
Speaking of cars, how about this discount from Chevy? If you're the owner of an Asian car brand in America, they'll give you a $2,500 incentive for trading it in.
Really?
To buy a Chevy. So if you own a Honda, a Mazda, a Mitsubishi, a Nissan, Toyota, Subaru, Hyundai, Kia, Suzuki, Isuzu, or Daiwa. I didn't know we still made Daiwas.
They're very, very big.
Really?
Everywhere else but here.
Huh.
Toyota's was in there too, right?
Yes, Toyota's in there also. The only catch is the car must be from the model year 1999 or newer. Now, this would be applied to any car or truck and stacked on any other available discount.
So the wife's little matrix that I call Trixie, that I think we paid maybe $1,000 for, they're going to give me $2,500 in incentives?
If as long as
What
it's
year
newer
is
than
it?
1999.
Jim Paul doing this?
Oh, hell yes.
What year is it, Kenny?
You have my personal guarantee. I'll say it for him. We'll give you the $2,500.
I'm thinking it's a 04
We don't
05.
let facts or standards get in the way at all.
It's got about 5 billion miles on it.
With this deal, if you get the $2,500 deal on the Chevrolet Sonic, according to GM Authority magazine, that would put the price of the Sonic under $1,200, making it one of the cheapest.
Are you kidding me?
Cars you can.
Under
What is the
12,000,
Sonic?
you mean?
Yeah, I've never heard of the
12,000, I'm
Sonic.
sorry.
What is the
12,000,
Sonic thing?
yes.
Is
It's a
this,
very small Chevy.
yeah.
I love how Pat just gave the very solid seal of approval, not really realizing what he was signing up for. Oh, hell yes, they'll do it.
No, they have to honor it now because Royce said so on the radio.
He's a spokesperson.
Why wouldn't they?
I'm on the way, Jim Paul.
Right.
Keep the doors open,
Why
buddy.
wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
From 1940, the Bank Dick. They have W.C. Fields is driving in the car.
Give me that wheel.
He takes the wheel off and gives it to him. But I didn't hear the line about the resale value of the car.
Look at the clock.
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Take us into a break.
I can do that.
Works.
No, I'm your traffic daddy, and I have some news for you. Northbound 169 jamming right now at Highway 7. It's due to a left lane blocker at 394. And good news over on the St. Lee side. Southbound 61 has reopened again at Warner Road. That crash, that very serious crash we had at Lower Afton has cleared, so you can now access southbound 61 again.
Mr. Royce, you had something.
Really quick. You guys were talking about Louie and Sid, and back in the day when the sports show was going, quite often the four of us would stop at the Perkins after the show out on 394 there. Mm-hmm. And Mike Max, even though he comes off as a straight arrow, is an agitating SOB, and he knows how to press Sid's buttons. So he would start congratulating Louie on some great work he did for the Gophers, or some party that he may or may not have been at, or something like that, and he would basically turn it into a tribute to Louie, which of course drove Sid crazy. And within about 5 minutes, every time we sat down, there'd be a raging argument between Louie and Sid about who was the most influential person in town. He could turn it into he could turn it. Max he'd press one little button, and pretty soon they'd be yelling at each other in this mostly empty Perkins.
I've always respected Mike Max.
Would he do it just strictly out of boredom too? Just because he wanted to get it going?
No, just because there's not. The thing that keeps Sid alive at 98 is rage.
Kenny, you're gonna make it.
One sort of sports-related story. Tottenham, the soccer club.
Yes, the Spurs. Chris Long's favorite team.
You mean Tottenham? Yes, Tottenham.
They are apologizing because they sent an online survey to American fans that asked the question, is a woman's place in the home?
Oh, no.
Oh,
the answer is yes.
Oh, they're agitating. What?
Joe!
Oh, Suchi boy. You're not staying at my house.
The Premier League club blamed a third-party company, which included the question when asking fans how much they agreed with a series of statements. Toward the end of the survey, fans were presented with a woman's place is in the home and asked if you definitely agree, tend to agree, neither agree nor disagree, tend to disagree, and definitely disagree.
Okay.
Definitely agree.
They have
Focus group questions. They're the worst.
I'm surprised they didn't offer you I don't know.
Right. No opinion.
Those are my favorite survey questions. I don't know.
Well, that's in there. Neither agree nor disagree.
Yeah,
that's in there. The North London Club has removed the question from the survey and said it, quote, sincerely apologizes to anyone offended by its initial
That's a
conclusion.
non-apology apology.
I don't think Joe and Pat are going to go along with this next story.
Joe says yes.
The hell, you're going to make me take the survey? I'll tell you what I think. I got a cot in the garage.
Delaware, it appears, will be among the first states in the United States to use mobile driver's licenses. In other words, your license is on your phone.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh.
Well, what if you don't own a cell phone?
And what if it
For
gets
instance.
stolen?
That's an interesting question.
Then
No, you mean, in other words, it's not optional.
Well, right now it's just a pilot study.
Optional.
They're gonna run with members of the Delaware Department of Transportation, do a 6-month study with employees.
Wonder what the point is supposed to be, John.
Well, they say, here's what they say. They'll say it'll have enhanced privacy for age verification because it'll just be right there.
No, this is a further invasion of your privacy.
Oh,
Such.
damn, yeah.
This is a no for me.
Law enforcement will be able to use it during a traffic stop. In other words, they will be able to ping you on your smartphone and request your driver's license information before they walk up to your vehicle.
No.
Also, they say ease of use, ensuring the mobile driver's license is able to be presented to any organization without difficulty.
I don't want them to make my life easier. Leave me the hell alone.
Yes.
And
Hey, what is the place in Europe, gentlemen, that basically you're not allowed to use cash anymore? What country
That's
was
one
that?
of those weird countries like Denmark or something.
Scandinavian.
Did you know that most, I don't want to name any names, but there's a lot of teams that are now using strictly mobile digiting for their tickets.
I don't do that.
They're not issuing any paper tickets or anything anymore. It's
I
all
want
on
them
your
right
phone.
there
That's
in
how
my
we-
top shirt pocket.
That's how I went to the Wild a couple weeks ago. I hated it.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I hated it.
there are also concert venues that are doing that now, too. You don't get a
And
physical
don't the
ticket.
Wolves do that?
Yes.
Don't you want some
I
people
didn't
want
want to name any names, but-
some people want souvenirs, don't they?
Yes.
You can't put your cell phone up on the wall.
I know a guy here who won't go to a Wolves game when he has free tickets because they're not tickets.
Right.
Because they're their stupid e-tickets.
Yes.
And he won't go down there. And he actually called him and told him that.
You remember how dumb I used to be? Yeah. Well, I'm better now.
Where is Mr. Harvey? He's right here. And he told me to tell you that we just left 10 minutes ago.
They can't write. They don't write them like that anymore.
No.
There's a reason to.
United Airlines says it's investigating after mistakenly flying a Kansas family's dog to Japan.
This isn't the one that died.
This is not the one that
showed up
died.
alive, right?
This showed up alive.
Okay.
Kara Swindle and her 2 children flew from Oregon to Kansas City, Missouri on a United flight yesterday. They went to a cargo facility to pick up 10-year-old Ergo, a German Shepherd, but instead they were given a Great Dane.
Leave your damn dog at home.
Swindle of Wichita, Kansas, learned that Ergo had been put
Put it
on
in a kennel. They got people who'll do that for you for a fee.
put on a flight to Japan where the Great Dane was supposed to go.
So you side with the airline
Hell
in the
yes.
case of the overhead bin dead dog?
That's too bad.
Okay, so he's pro dead dog and women
Dogs.
belong
I'm
in
a
the
dog
kitchen.
person, but put the dog up there and shut the door and shut up.
You're like
Yes,
Buck Henry on Saturday Night Live sport college show.
Financial show?
Call me now.
Dead mango
Dead mango
puppies.
puppies.
We agree. We want them. Call us now.
What Kenny was referring to there, the news of Ergo's unplanned odyssey comes as United admits another dog died after a flight attendant forced it to travel in an overhead bin. On
You
a
know, it
Mexican
might
route.
have had
that the flight attendant violated their rules? In other words, I don't think that's United's rule. Obviously, the dogs don't go in the overhead.
That dog might have had a heart attack. It might have died anyway.
Right.
It barked for 2 hours straight, and then the
See?
little girl, the 10-year-old girl said, and then he didn't bark anymore.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh, no.
And did you see the pictures? It was a Frenchie, man. It was cute as hell.
It was feet up, too, wasn't it? I mean, it was as hard as a rock.
Well, how about the poor people sitting there listening to the dog bark
At
for
that
2
point,
hours?
why don't you get the dog down and do a little dog whispering?
Yeah.
How does the entire plane not rebel and tell these flight attendants, no, this is how we're doing it?
Yes, we're taking the dog down because we're sick of listening to it bark.
Do you think, by the way...
Although, how many people in the plane said, thank God it stopped
That's
barking.
what I was getting at. Oh, finally.
Let's vote here. Let's vote.
Oh, finally, he fell asleep.
I probably don't have time, but my next story, I don't know, you probably saw, is about the teacher in Idaho who fed the dog to the snapping turtle.
Yeah, and that story is incomplete, too. Do we know how old the dog was?
Well, the dog had some problems.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? A little science.
Well, it wasn't dead. It wasn't dead yet.
This is how life works.
That's right.
Everybody give the doggy one final pet.
I didn't know turtles ate dogs.
You know what?
I didn't either.
You know what? This is the end, boys. Tomorrow we're going to have a rating of 0.
That's what we're shooting
0.
for.
Or 10.
It means we can finally stop this charade.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. That's just...
Okay, sure. Patrick, what's coming up?
Oh, we got. We're going to talk with Mr. Collar, our guy Collar, about Kirk Cousins and all the other free agent moves today. And then we are going to have Johnny Krasinski, who's now with the Athletic. He's going to be with us also. And then Jess Myers with the Hockey Half Hour.
Is the Athletic local?
They have local. It's a national thing, but they got local bureaus that each town that it's in, they're in like 20-some towns, has its own bureau in various towns. Like Tampa doesn't have one down here.
Okay. All right.
Some places have them, some places don't. So.
1500 ESPN is KSTP St. Paul, Minneapolis. It's, what do you got?
Right now. I got 42 degrees.
All right.
45. And here is Patrick James.